All right. Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day. Going through today, had a little extended weekend. For our guys after the first padded practice. I thought it was good being able to come back, watch the film, there on Monday, and I thought our guys, came out, were able to put in a few more situations. Got into the red zone. You still hit some third downs today, but you're continuing to push situational football and continuing to work on overall development mindset. I thought it was a solid day. Had some swings, back and forth, offense and defensively, which kind of what you want to see. But just continuing to work on the mindset when things necessarily don't go your way. Your attitude, your approach can, obviously making sure you stay true to the fundamentals and continuing to give all that you have on the rep that's in front of you. And I thought there was a good response throughout the end of the day. I thought we had good energy at towards the end of practice. So you got in a little red zone situation, but guys were competing, and we've got to continue to push to maximize every day that we have. Definitely feels good to get to practice 4 of spring ball, but as we move forward, we've got a lot of growth that needs to take place. But I see some young guys that are continuing to grow and develop. Some of the newcomers. Getting a better understanding of what the expectation is and how we do things, and I think it's been positive.
First question will be Ira Schofel.
I'm sorry, Ira. I didn't hear which name were you talking about? Brandon Gant. Yeah, Brandon was a young man that this last year was it was a real challenge. Obviously our safety depth was limited this past season, and Brandon actually had an injury, non-football related, that forced him to miss majority of his summer training. He really stretched into the first part of the year, and so he was playing really off of no training. Had lost a lot of body weight, but he just continued to focus on his growth. And plays extremely hard, but started gaining more and more confidence. I mean, he is a totally different person right now. You look at, his body weight. He's up over 205 pounds. I think he played last year in the low 180s. It was a struggle in a lot of aspects, but he's taken a lot of ownership, and somebody that is passionate to improve. I love his energy. It's just continuing to grow and making sure that in the moment that he trusts what he sees and is able to react. And put himself in the best position to achieve success. But he definitely has the talent, and excited about his continued growth.
All right, next question will be Gene Williams.
Hey, Coach, sticking with defensive backs, I want to ask you a little bit about Jarvis Brownlee and the kind of progress he's made in the last year. Really, what's that competition been like? You got a lot more bodies competing this year than you did at this point last year.
No, I mean Jarvis is a talented young man. He is probably one of the more athletic guys we have on this football team when it comes to change direction. The positions that he can get himself in and recover from. In coverage. And, I really like the steps that I've seen from him as well. Going out there last year, a redshirt freshman, really getting thrown into some challenging situations. But, I thought he got better. And he's a guy that, whether it was good or bad, he, for the most part, responded in a really good way. And he's a guy that's got to be, a top performer for us. And we've got big expectations. But, also, like you mentioned, there's a lot of competition, especially in the defensive backfield. With guys that are all looking to put themselves in that prime position, and so Jarvis is pushing, but he's also getting pushed. But we've got big expectations for him.
Next will be Brendan Seminoles from North 247.
Just keeping it on the theme of defensive backs, how has Bam Moore looked, especially after maybe being on scout team or not being super physical at UCF last year? How has he done the first couple days in pads?
I think Bam's looked really good. Him, Pack, those guys, Jamie, the newcomers in the defensive backfield have all, really shown well. throughout their first 4 practices. I think each of those guys have unique and different skill sets that can help us. We've been able to look at Pack a little bit at safety as well, and I'll tell you, he's really done a nice job there in a very short period of time. As we continue to grow with Bam, I think there's not been anything that I've seen where he's kind of been really held back from a physical aspect of it. He's excited to be back on the field. Made some really good tackles in times in his first few days, and on the flip side of it, just doing a nice job in coverage and continuing to build in his confidence of what we're asking him to do.
Next will be Antoine Staley from Tallahassee Democrat.
Yeah, Coach, I just wanted to ask you just kind of about Cam McDonald and his growth and development and some of the other tight ends on the roster as well.
It's been fun watching that group. I think Cam is, he's truly embraced that role and the versatility of what we asked that position to do. Has really made a commitment to his strength and the fundamentals in the run game. The intensity and the fight that it takes. But also, he's a natural pass receiver. He's a guy that can create separation, gets open. He's got really good hands, and so he's had a good first week. Playing with and without the ball in his hands, but he's got to be a great playmaker for us. I really like the development of what I'm seeing from that group of tight ends. As you sit there and you watch those guys, whether it's the newcomers, I tell you, I know I mentioned Jackson West early, but I thought today he had a really good day, and just his physicality, his athleticism, the skill set of what he can do. I think he's really going to fit in the mold of what we're looking for. But you take guys like Wyatt Rector, Preston Daniels that got a chance to play a good amount of football last year. Just their overall development. Wyatt's over 240 pounds now. Still running really, really well. Is a real threat in a lot of aspects. And, obviously Preston is a guy that played really good ball, and, you could see the confidence that he has, coming off this past season. And there's still some guys that are somewhat limited. Obviously Jordan's not doing anything here this spring, in team situations, but, we're excited about what he's going to bring to that group as well.
All right, we'll go back to Ira.
Just kind of catching up on guys that flashed a little bit when we were out there last week, but I thought Jaleel McCray a few times caught my eye. What kind of spring is he having, and what things does he need to work on?
Yeah, I thought Jaleel had some good plays in practice 3 today. I've got to go back and really watch it, at a deeper level, but I think especially for linebackers, you got to see them in pads, and there's plenty of guys that can put themselves in a good position, when it's just jerseys. But I thought Jaleel did show up, and he's a talented young man. You're just looking for that consistency, play in and play out. I think his attitude and his approach is continuing to get better with every day that goes by. He's somebody that full transparency, we challenged after the season, and what we expected to see from him, throughout the winter program, and I think he's responded well. So as we continue to get into spring, to seeing those steps and that further growth is going to be important, because that's another position where there's a lot of competition, and the versatility of Amari being able to bring him inside. Obviously Emmett Rice, and then guys like DJ Lundy, Steven Dix, Jaleel, Kalen DeLoach. All those guys are competing and fighting for to define their role, and so it's kind of it's exciting to watch those guys go against each other.
Next will be Aslan Hudavandi.
Hey, Coach, McKenzie last week said that physically he feels fine. The most important thing to him this spring is to be able to get this offense down cold. Is that something you guys can help him with, or does he have to take the initiative to be able to figure that out in 6 months' time?
No, that's we're definitely going to help him learning the offense. I think that as he's come in, I think he's done a really nice job at the time that he's put in. Anytime you're playing the quarterback position, especially with what we ask our guys to do here, it's there's a little bit of a transition, just learning the language, some of the checks, some of the freedoms that we give guys, as well as when it comes to the timing, the rhythm, all the things we ask them to do in the passing game as well. So, I'm excited about what I've seen. The thing that's shown up, as you mentioned, his movements. I have no concern. He's been able to extend plays. He's moving around, in the pocket, out of the pocket. Excited about the flashes that I've seen. He's extremely accurate with the ball when things do break down, and and that's where. But making sure that his time in is right, as clean as we'd like it to be, is something he's going to continue to work on. It won't be a finished product through 15 practices. It's going to be something that is going to carry over into the summer, and obviously with what we're going to do in fall camp. But it's the same for Jordan. I think you see the strides that Jordan Travis made as a passer. Over the last year, and really where he is now. He's night and day from when we first stepped foot on campus. But he took great strides last year throughout the course of the season, and that was even really limited in practice. So I don't have any doubt we'll be able to get these guys ready to go. But excited about what we're seeing.
We'll go back to Gene.
Coach, I know you told us last week you put the offense in some difficult situations. Just kind of curious, how did they respond coming back today, and then specifically on the receivers? Are some guys jumping out of that unit in the last couple days?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good to see these guys kind of challenge themselves. Today we had some big plays that showed up. I think Kentron, last practice, had a nice response to probably a rough first couple of days, and I thought he did some good things today. Malik McLean is a young man. I think I probably mention him every day that we've been, but he had another big play today, and just seeing his speed, he doesn't look like a freshman out there. From the physical aspect of it to the way that he moves, I'm really excited about his growth, and you got guys like Ontario Wilson, you got Keyshawn Helton, who I think it was really this offseason was big for him, and the recovery coming off the knee, and really last year playing in the brace, now he's out of the brace, and he made a couple really nice catches in practice today. So I thought those guys responded well. There's going to be a lot of competition at that position as well, and not only with the guys that are here, but we'll probably add we've got Destin that's coming in the summer, and another addition. Depending on how it all plays out, but we're excited about the group.
We'll go back to Aslan.
Coach, I joke around about the practice start times, but I do wonder, since these guys played Pee Wee football, they went to school, they went home and had lunch, and then their parents took them to practice, and in high school they went through school all day, and then they practiced afterwards. You're not the only coach that does some morning practice. Is there a sports performance aspect that you like to do morning practices? Is this something you did at Central Arkansas when you were a player? And I guess what's kind of your philosophy on, shaking things up between spring and fall?
Yeah, in the fall, it provides a great opportunity to start your day together as a team, and I guess the most challenging thing to probably do is as you get up, being able to control yourself and be able to get your mind ready to go. And I think it's really helped us throughout the course of my coaching career, especially there as a head coach, just with those 12 o'clock games, those early games, whenever the schedule was a little bit different. I thought it was good. I think being able to impact guys, forcing them to get on a pattern of, going to sleep at night, making sure that they're getting up with a great purpose and being able to start their day together is something that's great. And plus, it also allows everybody to be in the same place. College. A lot of my experience in afternoon practices, if you have an evening class or an afternoon or an early afternoon class, guys are rushing here to get to different places, or having to squeeze in a morning workout, then going to class and going to tutoring, then practice and back to tutoring. There's so much. It's so choppy, and I like in the fall being able to start start our day together, and then when 11:30 hits, I mean, it's all academics the rest of the part of that day. And if guys, want to go back and watch practice corrections, they have that ability and things like that. There in the evening. So, I really like that structure of it. But then in the spring, we practice in the afternoon. One, it allows those morning classes if there's something they need to take. But also, in a normal year, we're able to open up and have high school coaches. We're able to open up and have prospects, here on campus to be able to see how we work and what that looks like day to day. And unfortunately, we have the dead period right now, so we're not getting to have that. But it's also it's good for our guys to be able to capitalize on all the classes that are going on in the mornings too here in the spring.
All right, last one, we'll go to Ira.
And one more guy that I was paying attention to last week, Sidney Williams. I know coming out of high school, it sounded like you guys were excited about him. Mark Woods was excited about him, but he wasn't probably as well known. What have you seen out of him, and how ready is he to become a key contributor?
I think you had good eyes last week because Sydney's a guy that is really. I think the offseason was huge for him. His senior year of high school, he actually had a shoulder injury that kind of limited him. I do think in some aspects affected his recruiting. We were excited to be able to get him here. The thing that's really been pleasing is just his physicality. He's a big defensive back that he's got really good change directions. Runs well, but has found a way to get himself to the ball, and he's done a good job. Taking ownership of what we're asking him to do in the communication, but he brings the right mindset and the right approach. And I'm so excited about what Sydney's going to be able to do. The experience that he got there last towards the back half of the year, I think is so very valuable for his future. And he's been one of the top performers here early in spring ball.